Hello, fellow readers. My name is John, and today I want to talk about the books I read in August. It's my August reading wrap up. So I read 20 books in August, which is a lot. It's the most I've ever read in a month, I think. Now, most of these books were very short. 'Cause this month I did sort of a soft theme. They weren't all this way, but I try to do like children's fantasy month. So I read two different children's fantasy series and a couple of, I would say, children's fantasy standalones. But I did also read an adult fantasy series in here. I read Crescent City, which is the Sarah J. Maas's urban fantasy series. So, there were three longer books in here, but most of the other books were very short. And as always, when I talk about these books, there will be spoilers. I prefer to talk with spoilers when I talk about books. So let's keep that in mind as we go over these 20 books, starting with book number 1, the first Chronicles of Narnia book by C.S. Lewis, The Lion, the Lich, and the Wardrobe. I read the entire Chronicles of Narnia this month. I think this is the best book in the series. I gave this book 4 stars. I think this book is great. I think it's a classic. I think it holds up. I think C.S. Lewis has this really good children's voice. And I've heard some people say the prose hasn't aged well and the voice isn't very good for children. I disagree. I actually think this book would be really easy to read as a child. Now, I'm obviously not a child. I'm much older. I did read this when I was a kid, though, and I didn't have a problem with it. So I do think I wouldn't have a problem with it today, and I think it really holds up. I think the story is just really interesting. I think Lucy finding Narnia, I think that all 4 children really going into Narnia is really good. I think the antagonist, the witch, is just really interesting. I think Aslan, the lion/god, is just an awesome character. He's the best character in the series, obviously. Even when I was a child, I thought that. And then, just the setting. I think Narnia itself is very magical and fun. And I think it has a really good climax, very short novella length. This is 4 stars, easy for me. The only reason it doesn't get into the 4.5 and the 5-star reason is because I do think some of the theming has aged pretty poorly. I won't say this book is sexist, but it doesn't hold up to today's standards. The way Aslan treats Lucy, who we obviously he likes, is oh, you can't fight. It's just come on, this is. So yeah, it doesn't hold up by today's theming standards. It's not great in that regard. And the next up is The Horse and His Boy, which again is by C.S. Lewis. This is the second book in the Chronicles of Narnia. Well, kind of. It's sort of a spin-off, but it takes place during the same time as The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I don't think this book is as good. I ended up giving it 2.5 stars. So for me, it's just a fine book. I don't think it's good. I think it's just fine. The talking horses, they were a little bit just too much for me. I didn't love the talking animals in this book. I thought that children were very replaceable. I did think there were some really good scenes in this book, especially with Aslan and the children towards the second half of the book. And I thought the climax was okay. I was expecting more from the climax, but what we got was still pretty good. But like I said, it's just 2.5. It's fine. It could have been better. It's one of my least favorite Narnia books. Okay, then next up we got Prince Caspian, which is the direct follow-up to The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Again, also by C.S. Lewis. I gave this one 3.5 stars. I think it's very good. I really enjoyed the send-off for Susan and Peter in this book. I thought that was done really well. I really enjoyed Lucy's interaction with Aslan, especially in this book. That part is, I think Lucy and Aslan have the best interactions in the series, and they're very good in this book. I didn't enjoy the side characters as much as I enjoyed them in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. That's what brings this book down a little bit, but it's still very good. 3.5 stars. I thought this is probably the second best paced book of the series, too. If we're talking pacing, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is obviously very well paced. It's very short. This one, obviously they're all very short, but this one is very well paced, too. I did think the antagonist wasn't quite as good as the witch, but it didn't need as good an antagonist. The story is still very good, and Prince Caspian establishes himself as a very good character in this book. Okay, and then we get The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. I gave this one 3 stars. I think it's good, not very good or great, but also better than just fine or bad. There's a lot of stuff I really liked about this book. I loved the Lucy Aslan goodbye chapter. That actually brought tears to my eyes. Legitimate tears. I thought that was very well done. And any book that can bring tears to my eyes always gets a rating bonus for me, because I think that speaks to good writing. I enjoyed the magician chapter. I thought that chapter was awesome. I thought the talking rat sidekick was very good. I thought the climax was, done really well and had a lot of tension and mystery to it. But I do think this is one of the worst paced books in the series. They're traveling to all these different islands. I don't think every island really works. A lot of the islands do, but not all of them. I think Eustace as a character is a downgrade from Peter and Susan. I think he sort of suffers a little bit. So those are my two major criticisms, the pacing and Eustace. But I did think this book had some really genuinely great scenes in it. And it's short enough where it's, must read. But I can't give it any more than 3 stars. It's good, but not very good. Okay, then we got The Silver Chair next, also by C.S. Lewis. I gave this one 2 stars. This one is just okay at best. It's inoffensive, but I do find the characters to be lacking. I don't think Eustace is a very interesting character, and now he's the lead. I think Jill, who is the Lucy replacement, is good, but she is just basically a palette swap of Lucy, and I don't think she's as interesting as Lucy, if I'm being honest. I think the animal companion in this one is the worst animal companion in the series. I think the climax is good, but it's not any better than just good. But, the antagonist is probably the second best antagonist in the series, and that alone probably saves it from getting 1 star. So for me, it's just 2 stars. It's okay, but it's okay at best. Okay, then we got The Magician's Nephew by C.S. Lewis, and this is sort of the prequel to The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. It was written after The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, so I tried to read these books in an order to that. Made me read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe first, but I still read this book before the end, if that makes any sense. I gave this book 3 stars. I think it's good. It's good. It's not very good or great, but it's good. I thought it was a really enjoyable experience. I thought the story of the magician was very interesting. He seemed like a pretty unique character compared to some of the other children that visited the world. I thought the antagonist was pretty darn good too. I really liked the climax. I did think this book started to go into the territory where it's like, okay, now it's like we're just copying Bible stories. All of these stories every book sort of is an allegory to the Bible, to the Christian Bible, but this story, it didn't even feel like it was trying to hide it at all. It's just Adam and Eve. And trust me, it works. It's a good story, but that did, feel a little bit weird to me. I really like the character work in this. Aslan's awesome. I thought the main protagonist was really good too. 3 stars. It's good. The climax is good. It's a good book. Don't get me wrong. It's just not very good or great, and it did feel a little bit odd and different compared to the rest of the series. Okay, and then we got The Last Battle, and this is my least favorite Narnia book. I did not like the way this book went. I thought it was paced pretty bad. I didn't think the action scenes were very good. I didn't love the end. I thought it was too in your face, and that bothered me a little bit. I thought Aslan wasn't as good a character as he normally is. I did like that we brought back some of the other characters, the children. I like that we brought back Lucy, Peter, and Edmund. I did not. What really bothered me most about this book, though, was the character assassination of Susan. It's like, oh yeah, she doesn't believe in Narnia anymore. She won't come here. And it's like, what are we talking about? That's not what Susan was like at all in the other books. And I don't understand why C.S. Lewis had to destroy her character. It didn't really make much sense to me. I kind of hated it. This book almost got 1 star for me. It probably would have if not for a couple of Lucy scenes. Lucy was, again, the star of the show, even though she's not in the book a whole lot. So for me, it's 2 stars. It's okay at best. Not the greatest way to end the series. And that is all 7 Chronicle of Narnia books. Like I said, I think there's 4 of them that are well worth reading. And then the other 3, to me, kind of fall a little bit flat. And I don't love the end of the series. But I still think it's worth reading. Still a very good children's series. And honestly, you can just read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe as a standalone. I think everybody should give that a chance at some point in their life. Okay, then I read The Wood at Midwinter, which is a novella by Susanna Clarke. I gave this one 3 stars. I think it's good. It's short. It's not going to get any better than 3 stars because it's short, but I did love the theming, the setting, the magical whimsicalness of the whole thing. And I thought it had a really good, positive message in there about how she wants children, and the story just worked really, really well for me. And it didn't have this gigantic climax where things peaked, but the messaging of the story was very positive and very well done. And I really love the side characters and winterness of the whole thing because I'm a big winter holiday person. And yeah, I really just enjoyed this story, setting wise, and it's very short. It's like 50 pages. Okay, then I started the Earthsea series. I read A Wizard of the Earthsea by Ursula K. Le Guin. I gave this 2.5 stars. It's a classic. It's must read. I feel like everyone should read it, but it didn't quite land for me how I wanted it to. Now, some of the positives, I think the prose is beautifully done. I think the theming is well done. I think the setting is just magical, and you can visualize it in your head. It's so good. And I think this book inspired a lot of fantasy that you see today, like the wizard school and magic and names. It's all there. But I do think the plot just kind of falls a little flat for me. It's just our main character traveling from island to island to island and island and doing some different things, and not a whole lot of it's exciting. I don't think the characterization is very good. I am a character reader primarily, so a book without strong characters just doesn't really work for me as well, and this book definitely doesn't. It's not about the characters. It was never about the characters in this book, and for me, that just doesn't work as well. Now, I will say that this book does have some great scenes. Particularly, I love the scene with our main character confronts the dragon. I think that scene is really strong. And then there's a scene where our main character and this girl are in like a castle, and she turns out to be sort of evil, and you don't know that at the time. And I think that chapter works really well. So yeah, there's like 2 moments in this book where I really loved, but for the most part, the plot falls a little flat. You can read this kind of quick. I don't think it's paced extremely well, but it is short. Okay, and then we got The Tombs of Atuin, which is the second book in the Earthsea series by Ursula K. Le Guin. I gave this book 4.5 stars. This book isn't near perfect for me. I loved this book. I think Ursula K. Le Guin is at her strongest when she's writing the dynamics between a male character and a female character, and like sort of the theme of, I don't want to say sexuality, but sort of the theming of feminism and misogyny and even religion. I think she does a really good job with all of that and bringing it together and tying it in a different way. And I really love the plot of this book. The plot of this book is very strong. It's about this priestess who has been raised since she was 5 to be this sort of silent priestess who guards stuff, but her whole life is sort of like a lie. And then you get Jeb come in, and our main character Jed come in and sort of not rescue her. She's looking for this ring, this magic ring, this power ring, and he ends up getting it with her and saving her at the same time. It works really well. I love this book. I love our main character, who is just this really strong FMC, female main character, and I just think it worked really well. This book I adored from front to back. I will say the beginning might be a little bit slow, which is the only reason it didn't get 5 stars, but overall, this is definitely my favorite book of the series and my second favorite book of the month. Okay, and then we got The Farthest Shore, and I gave this book 2 stars. I don't like this book. This book's okay at best. It's okay simply because the climax is good. I don't even think the climax is great, but I would say it's like good to very good. The climax is awesome, but getting to the climax is a chore. Again, this book mainly focuses on Jed. We lose our main character from book 2. She's not in this one, so that sucked. And now we're back to just writing about wizards again, and I don't think that is where Ursula K. Le Guin's strength as a writer is. This book suffers from what I call the eye of the world problem, where our main character is just going from place to place to place to place to place to place, kind of directionlessly and pointlessly almost. There really isn't like an end goal in mind or a plot to really drag things together. It doesn't really work for me, especially because the characters just aren't strong enough, and that thread kind of sucked the life out of me. Like, I really struggled to get through this book. But again, once we got to the end, or like near the end, the last like 20% of the book, things picked up and it was done really well. But the first 80% is 1 star easy for me. And well, I'll say the last 20% is like 3 to 3.5 stars. So overall, 2-star book for me. The end just can't save the first 80%. I think this is the worst paced book of the series, for sure. Okay, then we read the 4th book in the Earthsea Cycle, Tihano. I gave this book 4 stars. This book is great. And we're back again to where Ursula Le Guin shines as a writer. Her ability to write feminism and sort of sexuality and inequality in the world and sort of facing those themes head on. I think she does a really great job with that. And again, we're back to our main character from book 2 is back in this book again with Jed, our overall main character in the series. And they're both older in the series. This book has like a big time jump. And Tiano has a scarred adopted daughter she's looking after named Theru, who gets like sort of discriminated against, and you really root for her. This book has characters you can grab onto and root for. And the thing about this book is it doesn't even really have much of a plot, but you can't ever put it down. It's paced really well. And then the end has this beautiful plot with the dragons and sort of these evil people that are finally put to rest, and our protagonists stand on top. It's done really well. It's beautifully done. Like I said, I can't give it more than 4 stars because there really isn't much of a plot to grab onto here, but it has such great character work and theming and pacing. It's a great book. 4 stars easily for me. And yeah, this is what is the start of what I consider the second, or what most people consider the second trilogy in the Earthsea Cycle. And I do think the second trilogy is stronger than the first trilogy for me. A lot of people like the first trilogy more because there's more wizarding going on, but I really like when Ursula K. Le Guin is tackling these really powerful themes, and I think she does a great job of that, and that's what the second trilogy focuses on. Okay, then the 5th book in the Earthsea Cycle is called Tales from Earthsea, and what this book is 5 short stories / novelettes / novellas combined to not even make a full story, but to tell the events that both precede the Earthsea series and take place during the Earthsea series, and then the last, what I would call novella, sort of bridges the gap from the 4th book to the 6th book. And I think 2 of these stories are done really, really well. Particularly Dragonfly, which bridges book 4 to 6, and Dark Rose and Diamond, which is I think the second novella or short story in this book. And I think those 2 really knock it out of the park. Those are both 4 to 5 star stories for me because they really deal with Ursula K. Le Guin's strength in writing those powerful theming and messaging and takes on feminism and stuff like that. And I really, really love when Ursula takes that. And the second book, Dark Rose and Diamond, is like a really good romantic story. It's romance, and it's done really well for Ursula K. Le Guin's fantasy standards. I really like those 2 stories. And Dragonfly, it's almost enough to bring tears to your eyes. Dragonfly, such a good novella, such a great way to bring it. But my problem is the first story, which is the founding of the Wizard School, is the longest story in the book, and that's a 1-star read for me. I did not like that one at all. And then the other 2 books, they're just okay. They were like 2.5 to maybe even 3-star reads. So overall, I'm going to give this 3 stars because 3 of those stories either didn't vibe with me or they're just fine. And then 2 of them I thought were great. But yeah, I can't go more than great. If you read this, I think you can probably skip those other 3 and just read the 2 I talked about. But this book still is good. I gave it 3 stars, which is a good rating for me. Okay, then I read The Other Wind, which is the last book in the Earthsea Cycle, the Earthsea series. And this one, it packed a punch. It was a great ending. Easy 4 stars for me. It's not any higher than 4 stars because, again, the plot almost feels secondary to everything that's happening. And we're going back to the well. We're kind of doing the same plot we did in The Farther Shore and book 4 too. But it's done better in a more meaningful way. And again, this book packs her Ursula K. Le Guin's punches with the theming and the messaging and the important topics she touches on here. Just so good. And the character work here is phenomenal. Phenomenal. For a series that started out with very little character work, when character work was secondary, the character work in this one is great. And again, the end of this book made me tear up, made me cry when Theru turns into the dragon and flies away, and Jed and Tiana are left just standing there, like watching their adopted daughter finally be happy and fly. It's perfect, so good, done so well. I love the end of this book. I love the series in general. There was really only 2 books that didn't work for me in this series. The other 4 all have stuff in it that I really, really loved. So yeah, I'm happy I read this series. Okay, then I read Coraline by Neil Gaiman. This is sort of a children's horror story. And I'm not a big horror guy, but I love this. This is 4 stars for me. I thought our main character, Coraline, such an easy character to root for. I thought the plot was very interesting. I thought the humor was great. And I'm not somebody who vibes with Neil Gaiman's works generally. I really did not like Good Omens. I hated Good Omens. Good Omens was one of my least favorite books I read last year. I think I actually ranked it last in the books I read last year. So I was trepidatious going into this book, and this book delivered for me. I thought on every front, even the climax was good. I thought it had two climaxes. I thought the Coraline escaping from the House of Horrors was perfect. 5 stars. I did think the hand thing that happened at the end after that climax, it was like a second climax, wasn't as good. That's why it doesn't get 5 stars. It gets 4 stars. I also don't think it like peaks all that high, but I do think this is a great book. And I forgot to show them off, but I do have a lot of the physical Earthsea books. I have Tombs of Ithuen right here. I have Tiana right here. And I have The Farthest Shore right here, which is the second, third, and fourth Earthsea books. The other 3 I did read on my Kindle because some of them were on Kindle Unlimited for free. But next up, we got House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. This is the first book in the Crescent City series. I did give like a slightly longer review in my ranking Sarah J. Maas video that's coming out. So I'm just gonna talk about this shortly. But I do think the end of this book, the last 200 pages, are 5-star worthy. Awesome stuff. The last 200 pages is the best Sarah J. Maas ending she ever wrote, and one of the best endings I've just ever read, period. There's so many twists, turns, action, climax. Everything about the last 200 pages is great. And the first 100 pages, also 5 stars. That like murder that sets things up is perfect. The 500 pages in the middle, I thought could have been a lot better. I don't think Bryce and Hunt are like amazing main characters that you can latch yourself onto, but they are okay. They're definitely bad for Sarah J. Maas standards, but they're still okay. They're still good for, I would say, other author standards. Yeah, so this is a 4.5 star for me, near perfect. And then I read House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. I gave this one 3.5 stars. I think it's very good. I think it has some of my favorite like action scenes in it. Not action scenes, but like scenes in the series happen in this book. I just think there were a couple plot points that really bored me. Tharian's point of view chapters bored me. And I didn't love that Danica had more secrets in this book. That really soured me on it. That part was my least favorite part of the series. Why did she have more secrets in this book? I bought the secrets in the first book. Secrets in the first book actually worked really well, but the extra secrets in this book made it just seem, it soured her and Bryce's friendship, in my opinion, and I didn't love that decision. That was a bad decision. Sarah could have done the story the same way, just without those being secrets, or maybe have them be somebody else's secrets. I didn't think that they'd be Danica's. Didn't love that, but it's still very good. 3.5 stars, because like I said, some of the stuff in this book really ruled. Oh, and let's talk about the world building. The world building here, amazing. The world building is probably the best part of Crescent City, and this book has really great world building. Okay, and then let's talk about House of Flame and Shadow, which is the third and final Crescent City book that I read this month. I gave this one 4 stars. To me, this is a great book. But it doesn't get any better than great. There was a lot of stuff I loved here. I loved the end of this book. I thought it was perfectly done. I did think that I couldn't buy that these theory were ever going to win, but that wasn't a problem for me because, it's whatever. I did think the rest of the end was pretty darn great. The stuff in Avalon is probably my favorite sequence in the series because those Fae Kings are evil. I thought that was done really well. I loved the Nesta Bryce interactions and that whole like plot arc. I thought that was very good. I thought Lydia was awesome in this book. Probably my favorite character in the series, and I thought she just worked really well. I love the reveal that she's actually probably a Galathinius. I thought Ethan killing Sabine, I thought that was done really, really well, but I didn't love the left-hand turn that he made where it was like he killed the Fender heir. That seemed like Sarah just changed her mind because that definitely didn't feel like what the second book was building towards. Didn't love that. What else didn't I love? Oh, Tharian's chapters. He continued to be a bore for me. Sorry, he just did. And I don't think Hunt was very interesting in this book. Bryce was actually pretty darn interesting in this book, but Hunt, he didn't do it for me this book. Didn't really do anything for me this book. Okay, and then we got the Graveyard book by Neil Gaiman. I gave this book 2.5 stars. I think it's just fine. Again, this is just another Neil Gaiman book that fell flat for me. I didn't hate it like I hated Good Omens, but there was a lot here that I didn't love, especially just the plot. It got very weird at the end for seemingly no reason. Don't understand why. I did like some of the humor in this book. I thought the ghost characters were very funny and they had some really funny lines. Our main character, he's kind of just flat for me. He's not, I mean, he's easy to root for, but he doesn't really have much of a personality. He kind of reminds me of Harry from Harry Potter, where it's just like, insert yourself here. I did think the opening chapter was amazing, but yeah, This book kind of just falls flat for me in a lot of different ways. I thought the climax was too weird, didn't love it, didn't love some of the decisions he made, and I thought the main character just was kind of blah. And then finally, I read The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I don't know if I'm saying that right, and I apologize if I'm not. But yeah, I've been wanting to read this book for years now, and I'm glad I finally did. It's very short, very well paced, very good. I gave this book 3.5 stars. Again, very good. Not quite to the great level because there isn't a lot there, especially like twists and turn wise. And, you know, our main character is just sort of fine. He's easy to root for, don't get me wrong, but he's not anything special. But I did think some of the messaging in this book is great. Some of the theming is great. I loved, you know, just the general positivity of this book, even with all the bad stuff going on around it. This book seemed like have a lot of like good philosophy in it, which was awesome. It was kind of what I expected this book to have. I thought the Alchemist character himself was very good. I thought the end was beautifully done. The setting here was awesome. I thought the wordplay here was very good. Yeah, I liked a lot of this book. This book, you know, ruled, and this book's like a quote machine. You can find a ton of quotes in this book, and they're all perfect, and that's what I love about this book. I'm sort of a collector of quotes, so I love reading it just for that reason alone, almost. 3.5, very good time. Anyway, those are the 20 books I read this month. Again, this is a pretty good month for me, reading-wise. There were a lot more 2-star books than normal here, but that's because I read these series that are definitely targeted towards the younger audience, and some of them just didn't work for me. But a lot of them did. I found like a lot of great books here. You know, Tombs of Athuan by Ursula K. Le Guin. That book's near perfect. I love that book. I'm glad I read The Earthsea Cycle. And The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, I'm always glad to go back to. That book is great. It really holds up. And some of the other, you know, Chronicles of Narnia books are very good too. And then, of course, Crescent City, I loved. Couldn't go wrong. Read some great standalones too. I'm excited. Yeah, you know, just a great month of reading. Let me know what you read down below. Or if you've read anything I've read, let me know if you think something different, think something the same. Just let me know. Have a good one.